The biggest debate of the week right now is, was WrestleMania 40 better than WrestleMania 17? You know, for the last 20 plus years, we said that WrestleMania 17 was hands down the greatest WrestleMania of all time. Plus, it was at its final peak, you could say, during the Attitude Era. You fast forward to 2024 with how WrestleMania 40 came about, the way it ended on night 2 especially. People believe that WrestleMania 40 was the greatest WrestleMania of all time, but out top WrestleMania 17, I'm going to quote a good quote from Lee Corso. No disrespect when I say this, but not so fast. Yes, WrestleMania 40 was a really good show, especially night 2. Night 1 was just a bit iffy with some matches that happened, and shitty match here, these results here. But it's like the ending kind of saved a little bit of night 1. But night 2 cooked the entire night with Damian Priest's cash in, Drew getting his moment in front of fans, to that outstanding ending with Cody and Roman Reigns, plus that great women's championship match with Bayley and Io Sky. I'll throw that in as well. But, you know, you go back to WrestleMania 17, that was like a different time in the Attitude Era. You want to compare the two? Yes, WrestleMania 40 was in a bigger stadium. It had over 72,000 for separate nights. But WrestleMania 17 was in an iconic, historic Astrodome they called the Eighth Wonder of the World. This was pretty big at the time because they didn't really go to stadiums that much, and they broke an attendance record that still stands to this day, even though the Astrodome is no longer being used. You look at some of the feuds that happened that night compared to what happened at WrestleMania 40. WrestleMania 40 mainly focused on the main event. They focused on Cody and Roman, Cody trying to finish the story, but had to go through Bloodline rules with night 1. Whereas 17, you had multiple different stories. You had Stone Cold and The Rock's second WrestleMania main event match, TLC 2, Vince and Shane McMahon's street fight, even Undertaker, Triple H. You even had a story with Chyna and Ivory, which led to a shit match. Even Benoit and Kurt Angle had some sort of a story, who was the best technical wrestler. But that whole match, not the whole match, excuse me, the whole night just cooked for WrestleMania 17. Yeah, there was probably one bad match. I'm not even talking about the gimmick Battle Royal. That was just something special they threw to make us go back through the midst of time. Imagine if they'd have done a gimmick Battle Royal at WrestleMania 40. That would have been exciting. But main event-wise, yes, WrestleMania 17's main event was really good, but I did not like the ending. I didn't like how all these years he gave McMahon hell and gray hairs, and then he just formed an alliance with them, and it was the biggest letdown. I will say 40 had the best ending I ever saw, with Cody finishing the story with the helps of Jey Uso and John Cena and Seth Rollins and even The Undertaker, where Roman did try to get help with Jimmy and, of course, Solo Sikoa. I mean, it's very even, you could say, with, you talk about night 2 in WrestleMania 17. I will still say to this day, I'm almost 35 years old. I remember watching WrestleMania 17 live. That was like the greatest thing ever. Plus the theme songs. My Way by Limp Bizkit was probably one of the greatest theme songs they've ever used. WrestleMania 40 used Gasoline by The Weeknd, which it doesn't give you that WrestleMania type vibe, which times have changed over the years, where back in the day, the WWE used a lot of hard rock music to get you hyped up. I'll put WrestleMania 40 in my top 10 as top 10 greatest WrestleManias of all time. But was it in the top 5? I could probably slide it in there, despite I still have WrestleMania 17 as the greatest of all time, plus WrestleMania 22 as the second greatest and the best to ever be not in the stadium. But if I would put WrestleMania 40 in the top 5, I would definitely put it over WrestleMania 30, and I had WrestleMania 30 ranked 3 as the greatest of all time. So, that being said, at 40 was a great WrestleMania, especially night 2. But in the top 5 of mine, I would put it right at 3. Maybe back and forth with 2, with WrestleMania 22, but still the king of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, WrestleMania XL in the Astrodome. It is what it is.